here at the North American Regionals.
That's okay, we can catch it all right. All right, but it looks like we're going right into Griffin and Vedmedik, and like they said, Corrupted keeping the first map. This could be pretty intense. I like this as a first matchup here. It kind of clears the air.
Wasted no time in getting your frag though, didn't they? It was 8 seconds, 1-0 Griffin. You know, one of the things that kind of want to touch on, you know, you brought up the path for Vedmedik, who took out Tom's, who lost to Tom, he beat Tom Servo, excuse me, to qualify, who was already qualified. But something to note about Griffin, he took out ID from Team Liquid to get here. So no slouch, and I'm very curious to see who pulls this one out.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been in and around Quake for a very long time. Now he's playing with Top Gun, so I guess you could say he's a bit of a maverick. But we're gonna have to see how that goes into these next few frags. We've already got 2 under our belts here already, and I'm sure they're not going to be letting up the carnage here pretty soon. But we've got 50 health only for Griffin. Not a good place for a Nyx to be by any shot. But we've got 7 seconds to Mega. It's going to be Vedmedik in position for it. Griffin might just need to let this one chill.
One of the key aspects of Quake, as you know, is knowing which engagements to take and which ones not to take. And obviously right there, that was not a situation where Griffin should have dropped down, and Vedmedik made him pay.
Well, if you can look on the bright side, at least he's got a skill bear now, and he can afford to do a few of those plays. But he's got a rocket launcher at this point, which is very handy. Vedmedik looking to do a little bit of damage as Griffin attempts to cross to either Mega side or armor, and all the time that this is wasting on Griffin right now is perfect for him because, as you can see, it turns into a frag, it turns into a round.
Got caught in the open a little bit, scale bearer, lightning gun. Can't say it enough. As a tank, you do not want to be on the open and straight lightning gun fight unless you have a significant stack advantage. Even then, you have to be a little careful. As you know, somebody with Quake experience, when somebody sticks a lightning gun on you and they're hitting every single cell, not only it's going to move you, it's going to throw your aim off, so it becomes harder to return the damage, and that's one of the things you got to be careful about.
Absolutely, but maybe both of these guys could be a little bit more careful. I mean, that was an incredibly fast first round. We're going to have to see if they start backing away from these fights a little bit more often as the match continues. We've got Griffin up top, taking both of the 25s to recover. We've got a little bit of armor for Vedmedik, actually, which is going to be handy, but you know, you lose that armor pretty quickly if you end up getting trapped by that rocket. Really beautiful shot. Fortunately for Vedmedik, he can med himself back up on that Mega health, as it's traded off with heavy armor from Griffin's side. And I like this. He's going a little bit quiet here. He's going back into the armor, actually, before going back to the teleporter. It's a great teleporter as long as your opponent doesn't know you're coming through it. So that's going to give Griffin the top of the map and the potential for some good spam.
Yeah, you'll see, just like right here, I was about to say, you'll see a lot of people, you see that teleport is dangerous if your opponent's waiting for you. They'll have rockets waiting for you, or a nail gun stream. I've seen opponents, some of these top players, just line up some nails there, and it just devastate somebody.
And it looks like Vedmedik's ability to predict where Griffin is going has been devastated a bit. I mean, he's just been kind of on the run here since then. Griffin doing a ton of damage now. I mean, now Vedmedik is going to know exactly what's up. There's the Dire Orb, does not commit to it, goes for recovery instead. Could have used maybe a health pickup there as well, but he's going to go for it now. 8 seconds before Mega, and Griffin still, I think, has Vedmedik wondering where he's at. Well, that'll answer that question as the spam comes out. It's going to be trading off, and we're down to a much more classic situation here on the Mega. It's a fight that Vedmedik can push a few spam rockets into, but worst case, he can just go back and get armor.
Yeah, both, nobody really has an advantage with stack right now. This is going to come down to an ambush. The jump
ambush
pad.
or a jump pad. Make that maybe 2 jump pads. Nope. Vedmedik's going to be avoiding it at that point, but it's still going to turn into a frag for Griffin.
Yeah, no, I mean, at that point, the damage was initially done. He was in desperation mode. You know, Griffin just finished him off there. There was nowhere he could run.
What does it take to take a 100 damage rocket and still try to get the pickup for Mega and actually get it? I mean, Griffin. Oh, did you see that totem?
I actually did at the last second.
I didn't either.
Yeah,
that would have gotten me.
That was, you know what? That was slick. He hit it. I mean, he hit it inside the rocket
Plain
launcher.
sight, yeah.
And because the rocket launcher, I think, has that red coloring, and yeah, it's very interesting.
Devious for sure. So Vedmedik making good use of Galena here so far, and this is exactly what I signed up for this weekend.
So dirty, man. That's.
All right, so Ved walking away with not a lot of armor. He's going to be bolstering that back up. Well, maybe that's going to be a steal from Griffin. That Nyx is flying out of nowhere and taking him down. So bye-bye Galena, at least for this round. It's going to be forced back over to Visor, which is very handy against Nyx.
Yeah, Yeah, but he popped that sight now. Ghostwalk is up, so yeah. So now he has a problem.
This could be a really big problem as he actually tries to defensively go back to LG, which is just inviting Griffin to steal the Mega, to steal the frag, but he's able to kind of body block Griffin there and turn it into a 2-0.
I think Griffin lost timing on the Mega health a little bit there, because, you know, he backed off.
It was a little awkward.
Yeah, it was a little awkward, and then he came back for it at the last second. I think he probably wants that engagement back, you know, if we were to really think about it. Yeah.
It's definitely one to examine.
And yeah, and then because the visor was there too, so then he rushed back into the Mega health area and just took damage where he could probably just, you know, just go get your heavy armor at that point. You know, you made a mistake, it's okay. Just go and, you know, don't
worry about it.
Yeah, don't make it worse.
Don't throw around on it for sure, but he's down to the last chance here on Corrupt to keep at the very least against Vedmedik, as he's just been doing so much work. I mean, the work on the LG is great as well, but the rockets coming out of Vedmedik are keeping things incredibly close.
Yeah. Griffin's lightning gun really is spot on. But
yeah.
you're right about that. Vedmedik, good placed rockets. That's one thing that can help neutralize somebody with a strong LG, because it makes it very difficult.
Yeah, Griffin totally meant to fall down there, and so it's all good. But Griffin's coming back up top to rocket launcher, just looking for a few audio cues from Vedmedik. Armor's going to be taken away, and at that point, Griffin wouldn't have exact timing on it, so that's a potential for Vedmedik to set up an ambush later on. But at this point, I'm sure Griffin is also keeping out a little bit of a closer eye for these totems.
It really does seem like Vedmedik's getting better in these rocket exchanges.
Ooh. And that's a lot of LG. You really cannot afford to chase up that corridor, but that's exactly what Vedmedik did. He lost out the fight, but they come right back into it, smashing themselves together on the Mega health. But it's going to be Griffin getting the better end of that deal. Nice.
He needed to get out of there.
Yeah, so not the cleanest escape, but he finally did make it out of there. He's able to come back mid-map with only 40 health. It's a good thing there's no rail on this map for Griffin at this point. But coming back in and trying to get that last rocket in doesn't quite go his way. It wouldn't have worked anyway. Vedmedik is actually pretty well stacked up here, so Mega's going to be coming back up. We actually see Griffin hovering around the rocket launcher. Vedmedik should have been able to hear that as well as taking away this heavy armor.
Yeah, Vedmedik looking really strong so far. You know, Griffin, again, the lightning gun aim is really spot on for Griffin, but you know, the rocket launcher aim seems to be more for Vedmedik here.
Yeah.
In a map like this, I think I'd rather the rocket launcher be on point than the lightning gun. And not to mention, Vedmedik's lightning gun is no slouch either. So you combine that, the lightning gun's relatively equal, but one guy's getting the better with the rocket launcher, and you can see the lead he's generating right now.
Absolutely, and of course Vedmedik kind of keeping the high ground for the moment before diving down for this heavy armor. He's going to be expecting a little bit of rocket play out of Griffin, really well placed there. But here comes a bit more pressure from these totems, knowing that Griffin's going to be stuck down to that corridor. Vedmedik is just going to be kind of browsing the map going, all right, if you're going to be down there, what else can it be taking away?
I really like the totem play with Galena here.
Oh,
really
yeah.
just kind of throwing around. The rocket launcher one was slick for sure.
Here comes that skill bearer tank engine, but it's going to be the Mega left on up, left waiting for Vedmedik as it does Griffin. No good.
Again, it just, you know, Griffin, he wasn't bad spot there. And in the end, it's just Vedmedik, it really is seems to be getting the better of him in these rocket exchanges, and it's throwing Griffin off.
Absolutely, and yeah, that was a bit of an awkward position Griffin got placed in there. He put himself in the corner, but then you put a totem in the corner. Cool, if you want to stay there, you're going to get totemed on your way out.
Yeah, again, very interesting Galena play. I was actually impressed with the way he was throwing the totems around, especially the rocket launcher one. I don't think we've seen that in all the qualifier matches. I don't remember seeing somebody place it right
so
in that
obvious
spot.
now.
It does seem so obvious, right? But it's kind of amazing. I really don't think I've seen somebody do that. And it was pretty hidden. It like fit a little bit inside the model in his colored red. That's why I said dirty.
Well,
so
you would
dirty.
hope that a trick like that only works once, and I'm sure Griffin is filing it away there. But we're going to be going into the next map, and I think, you know, as much as I enjoyed that Galena play, that map is something where you see a lot of it, and the rest not so much. A bit on Blood Run, but if we're going over to Covenant or even Sarnath, we might not see so much of it. So I'm glad we got to see what we saw.
Yeah, it's a new wrinkle. I think I might try to bust that out on somebody one of these days.
All right, call it a Vedmedik. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'll call it the Vedmedik, like we call the you know, the Dewey telefrag. You know what the?
Oh, we've got a lot of things we name after Dewey.
Yeah. None of them good. No.
All right, but it is indeed going to be a blood run here as we go into the next map between Griffin and Vedmedik. What are you thinking?
You know, Vedmedik looked really strong. Going into the match, the first map, I was a little like, I don't know. You know, I don't know who's really going to pull this out. But after watching it, I feel like, you know, I've always been a rocket launcher guy. And I feel like when somebody